Hello everyone, for this quick bit I will be showing the Hlookup and Vlookup functions. Now there are many different ways to do this function, but the best is honestly from the Paste Function button up next to your formula bar. From there I could select the Hlookup or Vlookup from my most recently used, but I may have to go to the Lookup section of the insert function and find the function for myself. Hlookup and Vlookup can both be found in the Lookup and Reference section. I'm going to start with Vlookup. The lookup value is going to be cell I3, and that's essentially going to be the data that I'm looking for. The table array is the entire table of data that I'll be searching. In this case, I'll be searching using a person's name. The data is arranged vertically, hence the term Vlookup. When I type in a person's name, the formula will search across and find a matching value for Maple. Now I'll go ahead and select all of the data that I'm using in the formula. Notice that I'm not selecting the headings such as peanut butter, maple, sugar. I won't be using those in my formula. The column index number is not the column headings, not the A, B, C. Instead, the column index number is the number in the columns that I have in my formula. In this case, it's going to be maple, number 3. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the number 3 in column index number, because that's the data that I want returned whenever I type in a person's name. The range lookup is really one of two choices. I can either leave it blank to find the closest match, or leave it true. I can also enter false to find an exact match. Usually you're going to enter false because you want to find an exact match for what you're looking up. Now that I've changed that to false, I'm going to go ahead and make my table array an absolute cell reference. You can do this by pressing the F4 key on each cell address, the beginning and the end. This way, when you move the formula or copy it somewhere, you won't be updating the table array. You'll be looking at the same exact data. It's a very smart thing to do when using this function. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and test out my formula. If I type in Malia, I get the number 6. If I type in, let's see here, Susie, I'll get the number 3. It's looking up any data that I put in based on my table array. Now that we've seen Vlookup, let's go ahead and try Hlookup, and I can find it in pretty much the same way I found Vlookup. I'll go ahead and bring it down. Whoops, got to go back up here. There we are. There's Hlookup, and it works pretty much the same way. I'm going to make my Vlookup value right here in cell I12, pretty much underneath it. And let's look here. The data is now organized horizontally. It's organized across. So Susie, Angela, Lisa, I'm going to be looking up their data that way. So let me go ahead and select my data set, as it were. And I think while I'm here, I might just go ahead and just make this absolute cell reference. There I go. Hit F4 when you want to do that. The row index number works the same exact way as the column index number. So in this case, if you look over here, you'll see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm looking up row number 3. So it's maple again. So I'll go ahead and change my row index number to 3. And I want my lookup to be an exact match, so I'll change my range lookup to false. Now it'll work just like the Vlookup function. When I type in a person's name, I get a matching maple figure. So I type in Susie, and Susie has a 3. And I type in Malia, and I get 6. I hope this was helpful, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or anything you'd like me to cover, feel free to enter it into the comments. Thank you.